Welcome to You Can Call Me Goddess because you're so much more than a queen. My name is Manouk Vink. I am a trained intuitive energy healer specialized in transforming your body and your life. In this podcast, we are going to be diving into everything to unlock the goddess that you are within you. Think of it as the ultimate glow up from the inside out. It's time to unlock your power. It's time to unlock your magic. So sit back and enjoy the show. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another You Can Call Me Goddess podcast. In today's episode, we are going to be diving into feeling stuck and wanting to give up, because I'm telling you, I wanted to give up this past few weeks a couple of times. I was like, I'm over it. I don't know what the fuck to do anymore. Like, are you serious? Like, why is this not working? Like, what else do I need to do to get the results that I want, right? And we all face this in multiple areas of our life. Like, think about it. You've probably experienced it with your body goals, because I know I have. You've probably experienced it with relationships, because I know I have. You've probably experienced it with your career, because I know I have. And especially if you're an entrepreneur, you will feel this sometimes. You're like, what else can I do? Like, what other action can I do? And especially me, I'm very much an action taker. So that is not something that I struggle with. I don't struggle with taking action. And that's why I think I'm also good at coaching people to take action, because I just have that, like, just do it. Like, just do it type of mentality. Like, stop, don't wait around, just fucking do it, because that's what you got to do, right? So if you tell me to do something and it guarantees that my business is going to grow, or it guarantees that it's going to get me the result that I desire, that's also why I was able to compete in a bodybuilding competition, because I was seeing the results, especially when you're seeing the results, right? When you see the results, you just want to keep going. So the moment you stop seeing the results, you're like, you know what? Fuck this. I don't want to do this anymore. And I know that you know what that feels like, because we've all felt that in one way or another. And today I want to talk about it because it's very fresh on my mind. And the key here is not to give up, basically. But I'm going to help you understand why and to shift your perspective a little bit on it, because I needed to do a lot of perspective shifting myself over the last few weeks. And also, I am not a winter girl. I don't know about you, but for me, when it becomes dark outside at 4:30 p.m. and it's cold and it's wet, I am not, this is not it for me. It literally makes me want to end the day early. I am feeling less motivated. So it's time that I start moving. Like, I've already moved countries, and here it's a lot sunnier than where I'm from in the Netherlands, but still, and the summers are a lot longer, but still, I need to eventually move to somewhere where the sun only shines, because you know, I otherwise I'm a mess at this time of year. Or at least I should figure out a way that I have like the smallest amount of winter and then I keep going. But that also made me realize something today that I thought about. It's like when you have everything that you want all the time, and this is something that I also want you to realize, and I just feel like I have to bring it up now. When you have everything that you want all the time, then it doesn't feel special anymore when you get something. Does that make sense? So let's use the weather, right? If you're constantly having sunny weather, you don't appreciate it as much anymore. And I have noticed that here. So for example, because in the summer, every single day it's sunny, and warm and beautiful weather almost every single day. So I don't like, I'm just content with the fact that it's there, but it's less, even though I'm not complaining because I really like that, but it's less like you looking forward to it. So it's like, we always want everything now immediately, but then I want you to ask yourself, if you have everything immediately, are you going to appreciate it as much as you would if you didn't have it all the time? Like, that's part of what ups and downs are for. It's also, if we don't know what a low feels like, then we wouldn't appreciate the high, right? And I know it sucks to hear when you're in the low, because you're like, fuck this. Sorry, I'm swearing a lot in this podcast today. I feel like it fits the theme though. You're just like, fuck this. I'm so over this. Like, when is this over? But then the moment it's like you're feeling good, you appreciate it so much more because of the hard work that you've gone through. So part of the perspective shift that we're going to be talking about today is seeing that, you know, if you have everything all the time, you wouldn't appreciate it as much. And I know it's really messed up, but it's true. It's the truth. We get so used to, like, we normalize things so quickly that we're then looking for the next step already. And that's why you hear entrepreneurs who are successful, or when you are successful in your business, you're already looking at the next thing instead of appreciating where you are right now. So that takes me to the being stuck thing. So I truly believe, and although it's very difficult sometimes to feel that way, especially when it's gloomy out and when you're struggling to get through it. And even me, I do energy work. So I also know when there's like negative energies like attached to me or around me. I do energetic healings and stuff like that to make sure that, you know, and although I have been implementing that more, because even I'm human, I forget sometimes to implement these things and these tools that I have. I have so many amazing tools in my toolbox, and then you forget to use them. And ever since I've been doing like some of those, that has been helping so much. But even then, sometimes you're still gonna have your ups and downs when you forget to do that tool, or where I, you know, neutralize my emotions. But sometimes your ego, your human self, still gets in the way, and you start feeling that low moment. And of course, we have this thing also, which I also know, it's like, oh no, because I tell you guys all the time, your thoughts and your emotions dictate your creator field, your energetic body, your energetic field, right? So here you are feeling low, and you're like, but I should allow myself to feel that way. But at the same time, oh my God, this is impacting my creator field, right? This is impacting my energetic field. Like, what if people now are reading that in my energy and I'm losing clients, or my body is going to start shifting because I'm not on time with it, or my relationship is going to go in the wrong direction, or my finances. Okay, all of this, I don't want you to stress, because we all have these ups and downs, and we live in a world of balance. So the lower the low, the higher is going to be, because it has to balance it out. So when you're feeling extremely low, that has to go to an extreme high at some point. Otherwise, it doesn't balance out. So that is one of the things that I was also telling myself. But I feel like I'm all over the place, but it's still valuable, all of it. But let's walk through this. So basically, I had been feeling stuck over the last few months. A lot of like reflections in the business, in my financial situation, all of that stuff. So all of this reflecting back at me where there are imbalances, right? And I was like doing everything, all the tools that I could imagine, I was getting out. But I still wasn't getting the shift that I desired. And I kept like connecting and intuitively checking in and channeling, connecting with source and connecting with my higher self, and trying to figure out, okay, what is this block? What is this block? And I would get some bits and bobs, and then I'd be like, okay, but how do I shift through this? And I kept always just hearing also like, relax, just, you know, it's okay. Release and relax. I was like, okay, release and relax. I was like, cool. I'll do that. I was like, really trying to release and relax. But what I started realizing, because when you ask for guidance, you're going to get it. And when you ask for answers, you're going to get it. You just need to look in the right places. And then I literally, it started like making sense to me. And I was like, getting all these signs, like a webinar that popped up that was talking about being stuck, and then something else that I saw, and I knew it. I know it in my core. It's the breakdown before the breakthrough, right? The breakdown before the breakthrough. And this is what happens all the time. Basically, and I'm sure you've seen like one of those animations before, right? Like or like those pictures where you're basically like hacking through the ground, and you're like a millimeter away from getting to the diamonds that you're trying to mine, but you stop because it's taking so long and you're not seeing results right before you hit the jackpot. And this is what people do. And I've seen this not only in like business and in achieving results in your career, but also when it comes to to the body. And this is something that, you know, it's so funny because fitness and business growth and growth in any matter for that matter, they all overlap, right? The things that happen there, they all overlap. And specifically with this, like people and clients that I would work with would get so frustrated because they weren't seeing the results. But we're not seeing that over time, every little thing that you're doing, you are putting a grain of sand on a scale. And every time you're doing that, or basically if you think about it in the fitness terms, you're maybe taking that grain of sand off, right? But 1 grain of sand, 2 grains of sand, you're not going to see much of a difference. Only when you're at like maybe 100 grains of sand will you start seeing that sand is compiling. Or what was it? I actually have to look that up. Somewhere else I heard about the bamboo tree that grows underground 7 years before it actually starts to sprout and come out of the ground. And this is just to show you that a lot of the time this growth and this your life and your growth is building. You're not seeing the results, but you're this close. And if you can see me, because I on the video, but I'm holding up my fingers and I may be showing like 2 centimeters. If you're this close to your goal and you're just about to quit, that is such a shame because you're this close. And if you just keep moving, you're going to get the result. But a lot of the time at that stage, people quit. People stop because it's getting too tough. So this is if you're listening to this, you were drawn to this podcast, this is to let you know that you're this close. You're almost there. And if you stop now, you're going to hold yourself back from achieving the things that you desire. And again, whether that's with your body goals, whether that's with your business, whether that's with your relationship, if you're about to throw your hat into the ring, don't, because you're this close. You're so close to reaching the goal, and it might just take 1 or 2 more grains of sand before the scale tips, right? And so that is the struggle with these things. We don't always see the progress that we're making. When you start training your intuition, or when you have trained intuition, you can look in and actually ask, where are the signs of my progress, right? So you could ask, where are the signs of my wealth growing? Or where are the signs of my fitness improving? You can start asking these questions intuitively and getting answers and seeing that you are progressing, but you're not seeing that you're progressing. And a lot of the time that is the case. So that is one of the things that I will tell you. One of the things that I will tell you when you're this close to giving up and you're feeling stuck, it's probably because you're very close to a breakthrough. And this is a test for you to show that you are going to trust. You're going to trust that things work out, because it's all about trusting, right? And again, this goes back to your energy and trusting yourself, because if you don't trust your capabilities and you don't trust that what the work you're doing is working, then how do you think other people are going to respond to that? They're not going to trust you. So this is always going on, this balance of how you are believing yourself, and when you're in, and that's going to be reflected back at how people treat you and how people see you and what's being broadcasted out in your energetic field. Another component of this, though, because yes, this could be it, but there's also part of it where when you are going through such a stage and it's very difficult to see that you're growing and you're about to be like, you know what, fuck this, I'm out, I'm done, I'm over it, I have done everything that I can, I don't want to do it anymore. When you're at that stage, I want you to ask yourself, is there literally no signs around you that whatever you're doing is working? So if you take fitness, are people complimenting the way that you look? Are you getting stronger? Are you having more energy? Are you this? Are you that? Because a lot of the time we focus on the end goal, but we're not seeing what we're picking up along the way, right? Or we're letting go of along the way. And when we just focus and have tunnel vision on that one thing that we desire, we forget to notice all the things that we're gaining on the journey. And that stops you from wanting to keep going because you're not seeing the progress. We are reward driven. We want to see the progress. We want to see the results of our work. So sometimes we need to ask ourselves, what are the results of our work? Can we see them? And broaden your perspective instead of only focusing on that one thing. If it's business, for example, instead of only focusing on the dollar amount, focus on how many more people are watching your videos, how many more people are asking about your business, how many people are asking you for advice. Those are all signs, or inquiring on what you do. Those are all signs that you're progressing, that you're expanding, that you're growing. So these are all things that you're missing, and you're not seeing that this is all your creator field, at play, and things shifting and your business growing. But because you're not noticing it, you're focusing on how it's not working. And as we know, the law of focus, the more you focus on how it's not working, the more it's not going to work. The more we start focusing on how it is working, the more it's going to work. So there's a lot of things that you can start doing here. And believe me, because I started working through all of this stuff. And one of the other things that I learned throughout this is that when you're in a moment of feeling stuck or not knowing or wanting to give up, or, feeling like you've done everything, this is your sign that you need to achieve new levels of mastery in whatever you are doing. It can be a sign that maybe you need to bring out a new offer. Maybe if you're working on your body, you need to try out a new type of workout and push yourself to a new limit. You've gotten too comfortable. When it comes to business, it could be that you need to expand your audience. Maybe you need to try something new. Maybe you need to go somewhere new to reach out to new people. Maybe it's nothing to do with your actions, but another internal shift that you need to create to get more success. And why is this happening? It's because when we face an obstacle, we are forced to look at what we need to shift to get the results that we desire. And when we do, we have another great success story under our belt, right? Because this is all to show you and get you to understand all the obstacles that people potentially who want to work with you or get advice from you are facing. So if you don't hone in on all those obstacles and getting mastery over all the obstacles that they're experiencing, then you're not going to have the 100,000 solutions because you haven't gone through it. So you didn't know how to find a solution. This is you getting your skills to higher levels. This is you challenging yourself in new ways. It could also be if we're talking the body and fitness, for example, this is you expanding your knowledge in that area, or maybe having to hone in on a different component because your body wants you to master something new, wants you to understand something on a deeper level. Maybe it's an energetic component that you're missing. You've been taking all the actions, but you're missing the energetic component. And this is your body like pushing you or getting you to see that there is another thing that you are missing, a puzzle piece that you need to collect along the way to fulfill your mission, basically, to fulfill what you're meant to be doing here. So when you're in a moment of feeling stuck or wanting to give up, this is a moment of upgrade. This is a moment where you start looking deeper at what other tools or what out of the norm you could be doing right now to get to higher levels of success in whatever result you want to acquire, right? It's getting you to think outside the box, because if we're comfortable and everything is running smoothly, there is no need to think outside of the box. So there's no need to expand our skills or our knowledge. There is no need to look deeper at things because we're comfortable. When we get uncomfortable, we are forced by ourselves to, or by our higher selves or by our body or whatnot, by the universe, to look at different ways to expand. So then you can start going down the list. Okay, is there a new offering that I can bring out? Is there a new audience I can reach? Is there a new place that I can go to? Is there a new skill I need to learn? Is there a new tool that I need to understand? Is there a new energetic shift or a block that I need to heal within myself, so that when I overcome whatever this obstacle is, whatever this block is, I can step into new levels of mastery and also be able to help more people. Also, my energy will be able to hold on to whatever it is that I want to achieve. So if it is more financial abundance, then your energy needs to be ready to hold on to that financial abundance. So you're basically being tested and upgraded to make sure that you can. Same with new clients, same with your body. If you haven't gotten all the internal shifts to achieve the body that you desire, then maybe you won't be able to hold on to the body that you desire. So this is for you to shift this. The same thing with relationships. If you're struggling, you keep bumping your head against the same thing. It's time to shift that thing so that you can reach new levels in your relationships, so that you can reach new levels in you appreciating yourself and seeing your worth and seeing your value. So the stuckness is actually a blessing. It's your time to upgrade, and it's your time to step into your power. It's time to challenge yourself. Okay, shit. I'm in a shitty situation right now. You're not, but you're perceiving it as that. What is it that I can gain from this shitty situation? What is it that I'm meant to learn from this situation? What is it that's going to expand who I am and my skill sets and my knowledge and my energy and make me even more rooted to my skills and my abilities? And what is the limiting belief that is blocking me right now? And if I didn't experience this, then maybe I wouldn't have been able to call in whatever I desired and also held on to it. I wouldn't have been able to help as many people as I can help right now. I wouldn't have been able to shift so many things that are going to give me so many more benefits than if I had the thing that I wanted like this, right? So this is what it is. It is all about a perspective shift. And I know it is extremely hard when you're in it to see that. But it's basically your energy forcing you to trust that things are going to work out and forcing you to dive deeper into what else you can do to upgrade. Or maybe it's just you needing to relax, sit back, and trust that the work you've been doing is going to give you what you desire. This is what you can start looking into and questioning, and especially with your intuition, if you can tap in and ask these questions. Do I need to take an action? Is there an energetic block? Or is this my moment to trust that whatever is meant to come to me is going to come my way, right? So, and that is what I mean. Like, I wouldn't be here talking about this on the podcast if I wasn't going through that. And if I wasn't going through that right now, and it's not like I haven't been through a stage like this before, because we have this over multiple times, because whenever you have a breakdown, it is actually that moment of upgrade that is coming. Your obstacles are the only way that you're going to grow and excel and upgrade. And I've said this before in a previous podcast. If you know how games work, when you want to up level in a game, you have to fight another boss. And the higher you get to in the game, the higher the up level, the bigger the boss, the harder the challenge is going to be. And then I want to remind you, in this universe where there's always balance, what comes up must come down, what comes down must go up. And that's how it works. So the deeper the dip right now, the higher the high will be. And you can start looking forward to that. So by shifting your perspective on that, you can start looking forward to that. So like circling back to the component where you might be feeling, are these negative emotions impacting your creative field or your energetic body? So there's a few things about that, because I get that feeling, and I understand that as well. And I was a little nervous because we're emotional beings. That's like part of our superpower is our emotions. Our emotions is what locks in our energetic field and our abilities, right? But sometimes they get the better of us. So there's a couple of things. Of course, inside the Goddess Academy, I give you tools to shift those emotions. We have programs and coachings that help you hone in, or how would I say, neutralize these emotions, because emotions can get the better of us. And when our emotions are extremely high, our intuition goes offline, basically. So yes, there is that. But there's also a time and a place where you need to release the emotion. Because if we bottle up the emotion and we don't let it out, then it's going to fester, and it's actually going to make things worse. That's going to start showing up in your reflection. So in your body, in people around you, in, situations and circumstances. So we need to find a moment to release the emotion. But I would release the emotion by doing an action like journaling it out or screaming in a pillow and just getting it out of your system, and then start seeing if you can neutralize the belief that you have by listening to this podcast and seeing wait, this is actually really exciting. I'm not stuck. I'm in a level of upgrade. So it's all about that perspective shift, because everything is perspective. And the reason reflections and things and imbalances show up is because of your perspective on a situation, right? So when you have a limiting belief about yourself, it's a perspective. It's something that you see about yourself. But if you ask someone else might have a completely different perspective on that. They might view it as a totally different thing. And I'm sure you've had that before, where you asked a friend about something like, oh my God, this is terrible and this is that. And they hit you with, but is it actually because you've been doing so good and you've been making it work in such a difficult circumstance and you're still getting clients, or you're still getting results, or you're getting stronger? They will literally reflect, like show you the opposite of what is going on. And if you can think of that friend that would give you that advice, you already know how you can shift your perspective and see how the opposite is true of what you believe right now. And that is part of that. You want to neutralize the emotion, release the emotion in a good time, in a safe space where you can get that out your system. And then after that, neutralize it and work from there. And maybe listen to this podcast again and see how, what you've been thinking is happening is actually not happening. This is your moment for the trust fall, like fall back. The universe is going to catch you. This is your moment to realize that you are about to up level. It's time to become that scientist and start experimenting with what it is that is creating the block right now. This is so that you're prepared for the next level of your life, for the next level of what you're trying to create. And this is a blessing, because now is the moment that you are being pushed to figure out what it is that you need to upgrade to reach new highs, to quantum leap, to get the next level of what you desire in your life. So you are not stuck. You are in the middle of an upgrade. And if you can start seeing that, then I guarantee you won't give up, because that giving up mentality, or wanting to give up, and I get it, because sometimes you do, and I've said it before, I don't know what I'm doing this for anymore, but I never give up. Like, I say that, but I never give up, because I know in my core that it's going to work out. Somewhere deep down, I know that I'm supposed to take the next step, that there is more for me to do here. There's more for me to expand here. And if you know and you trust in that, then you will be all right. You will get the results that you desire. I promise you that. But you need to see this as an upgrade. You need to look at what it is. This is for you to access a new zone of genius that you wouldn't have accessed without it, right? If you are aspiring for big dreams, because I know I am, I have so much, I've already achieved so much, but there is so much more for me to achieve. And I know that there is so much more that you want to expand into. And I know that you can do it. And that is why I want you to have this information. I want you to shift your perspective, because I know that you're powerful. I know that you have magic within you. I know that the life that you're dreaming of, you wouldn't be dreaming of it if it wasn't a potential reality. So this is me telling you that you are just getting a step closer to your dream, but you're feeling stuck. So shift the perspective. How am I upgrading? What am I getting out of this? Because if you weren't stuck right now, you wouldn't be looking at new avenues. You wouldn't be listening to this podcast to get a new perspective. You wouldn't be looking into getting new tools. You wouldn't be looking at maybe new coachings or new information, or gaining new knowledge on what you're trying to get unstuck with. The only reason people end up upgrading is because at some point they felt like things were crumbling down. Because when things are crumbling down, we want to figure out how that doesn't happen. And that is when we start to upgrade our skill sets, our knowledge, and our capabilities. That is what's led me eventually to being where I am today. That is what's led you to be where you are today. You overcame obstacles, and it made you a better, stronger, more knowledgeable, skillful person. If we were comfortable all the time, you'd just be in the same spot. Nothing would move you forward, because you'd just be all right. But we want more than all right. So at least if you're anything like I am, We want more than all right. We want to go for freaking gold. And if that's you too, then this is it. This is it. This is your time to reach that gold. And you're about to give up when you're going to get so much more gold as a result of this phase. So that is the end of my announcement for today. I hope you gained a lot of value out of this podcast today. And I know that hearing this is going to shift your perspective and that you are going to start seeing that this is your chance to up level, upgrade, get new tools, get new knowledge, get new skill sets maybe to balance out your emotions, skill sets to start tapping into your intuition, increase your self-image. All of these things are what is going to get you to higher levels of what you desire. And you wouldn't have wanted to reach those higher levels, or you wouldn't have reached those higher levels without the obstacles that you are going through as we speak. So be grateful for them. They are here to get you to upgrade. And if you're ready to take that to the next level and you don't know where to begin, you know where to find me. I have all my links below. We've got great, amazing free content in the free membership that is going to help you make sense of some of this and get you to understand multiple things on multiple topics. So come join the free membership. If you want to know more or you have any questions about what to do next, reach out to info@nukesgoddessacademy.com. The email is below as well, because I know that you are meant for so much more. So let's get you stepping into that power and realizing that this simple perspective shift is going to change absolutely everything for you. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you in the next podcast. Thank you so much for listening to You Can Call Me Goddess. I am so happy that you joined us in this show today. If you feel like this podcast gave you any sort of life change or value, then share it with someone you think would also get a lot of value out of it, because maybe it could just be that one thing that changes that person's life. If you enjoyed the show, please give it a nice rating below or in the show, because we would love to expand more on topics that you enjoy and keep this podcast up and running. Anyways, thank you, beautiful, and I hope to see you in the next podcast.